Welcome back, guys, to another CSGO edition of our esports breakdown. This is Hold the Door DFS. I'm going to be covering both slates for you, one that locks at 2 a.m. and then one that will lock at in the morning, I think at 11 a.m. Central. There was a lot of upsets and things in the second matchup today, or in the second slate today. Cost me some money as a cash player, but I will bounce back because I know our process works. So let's get into the slate here. We are going to start with gg.bet per usual. With these odd slates, it just seems like we have better luck getting the odds. Singularity, a team that let us down, is now coming in at minus 200 against Graph, plus 150. And then the Izako Boar is at minus 140 against Level Up at plus 108. Let's get into the singularity side first. Celerate was one of the ones that I liked the most going into today. He was one of the worst on the server. I don't think that can really just push you away from him. But I do think Nico Daz is going to be likely my captain spot for cash. And then it will be choosing between Nodan and Remoy. Nodan actually has a higher kill and assist percentage, a higher rating. The kill and death percentages are really close. It just seems to be a little bit more involved. So, and then I think that's kind of built into the price difference here. So pretty close. If you need the salary, go down to Remoy. I think I give the slight edge to Nodan as a player. On the other side of this matchup, Graphite, let's see. They are showing me, I think they had Crank as the, Sani is 0.73 kills per round, 0.4 deaths per round. He is their highest priced player. I think in a GPP stack, I would love to go Sani, Crank, and who is the other one? I think it was Capper. Yeah, Capper. Oh, yeah. So the top three. I think this is going to be a really nice, maybe in a multi-entry GPP to stack against Singularity, who looked awful today. But I think in cash, you probably want Nico Daz and then either take Nodan and Remoy or using Celerate and a combination of those two on the bottom. All right, let's move into our second game versus Level Up and Izako Boars. Sui is the highest rated player here for the Izako Boars, the favored team in this matchup, and it is built into the pricing. He is 9,000, followed by Sejin and Exus, which I think is pretty accurate from my research here. Neither of them are just amazing, 0.66 deaths per round, and Exus at 0.65 deaths per round, kills per round. And then if you look actually at the team stats for these five when they've played together, they've only played together 23 maps, and Sui is the only one with a positive kill to death ratio. So there's definitely some volatility here, which does make me like the level up side a little bit as well. And the level up side, we do have a little bit more of a discount if you want to stack some of their players. Demke, 0.7 kills per round, their highest rated player here in the last 3 months at 8,600. And then, Avon, I would avoid. I do like Impulse here. He has a really high damage per round, a nice impact rating, and 0.68 kills per round, which is really nice. Same here with D. So if I am stacking Level Up or using any of their players, even as a one-off, I like Demke, D, and Impulse as my favorite stacks there, and they are priced accordingly. So that's kind of where I'd go for this slate. I think you have to kind of take a side here on the Izako Boars or Level Up, or you take 2 and 1, and depending on your strategy. Like for me, when I normally play head-to-head, if I'm going 3-3 and both my teams win, it's usually if anybody one-offs with somebody, it's pretty rare that I would lose that, just because if they swept or whatever, the chances are that correlation was in my favor instead of theirs. Obviously, if you one-off and then there's upsets, then you gain leverage on the field in cash games. All right, let's move on to the Eden Arena Malta Vibes slate. We have Fate as a minus 220 favorite against LDLC, and your Gambit youngsters minus 263 against Budapest 5. And we all know, or you should know by now, Shiro. This is a player that we want on a slate. He is consistent. He has the upside of, in this level of competition that we like to see out of like Simple and Zaiwu and those other top players in the tier 1 competition. So Shiro will be my captain in cash almost certainly. I'm going to stay on the Gambit side. Axel is still too cheap at 7,800. So those would be my first 2 in my lineup for sure. Nafani kills, has a higher kill per round, which does give him more of appeal than Supra and Inters. But if they were to sweep, I think Supra and Inters would likely meet or exceed their value for a discounted price. So I really like the Gambit side here. If you go to the Budapest 5 side, I really like Torzi as a one-off. I think 7,000 is too cheap. So if you're not 3-stacking Gambit, and maybe you're only using Shiro and Axel, I think Torzi is a decent one-off. I really like him just as an individual player. Corey started out today really poorly and then turned it on at the end of the first map and into the second map, but it wasn't enough for B5 to beat Touch the Crown. So, and Coolio, yeah, pass on him. Okay, moving on to the Fate side, and let's pull up Fate here. They are a team that we actually have had on these slates. H4RN and Mar are their best 2 players. And I think it was maybe the Showdown slate recently that I tried to dive in just a little bit closer to these players. And it seemed like in cases that they were favored and they won like 2-0, H4RN, who's on the AWP, performed better than Mar. When they were getting beat up by better teams and losing 2-0 or were underdogs, somebody who used a rifle like Mar tended to be better or to sustain. And most likely, for those of you that don't either watch or play a ton of it, when somebody has a rifle like Mar, there's a better chance he can just trade out, even if they're losing. Like he might kill somebody and then get killed immediately. Where H4RN, if he's on the AWP and they are at a man disadvantage, it's going to be harder to, find those snipe kills. So it just tends to, it's easier, or let's see, the downside is greater for someone like H4RN when they are an underdog. But when they are a favorite, it opens up, guys just walking across the map and he can just take guys out. So, and he's not going to die very much in that case. And that's why you see his deaths per round pretty low, 0.6 compared to 0.69 for Mar. So regardless, I like them both. I really like this second slate a lot more than the first because I think these 4 guys are going to be absolutely locked into my lineup. And even if you use Shiro at captain here, I'm not going to go much further than this, but you can already tell it is definitely doable. So on the other Fate players here for cash, I lean Patrick, I believe, over Blocker, if I just remember right. I think they're both pretty close. Yeah, their statistics are pretty close short term here in the last 3 months. Yeah, and then Nikki is one that I would avoid. So I think your third Fate is going to be between back to this page. Fate is going to be between Blocker and Patrick, but I think you will likely need the salary and have to go Patrick. So that is where we are going to stop today. Be on the lookout for Monkey Knife Fight content, MLB Showdown. Gator Guys doing awesome soccer content every single day. That is 100% free. But there is like 7 slates going on every day for soccer, and you want to get those core plays because we are turning over money here at FSI, and people are just cashing. And we got guys playing $2,000 head-to-heads and GPPs and everything. So just hop over there, get into our Discord channel, get into that premium channel. We have a VIP that you can get access to everything all at once. So thanks for listening. Have a good one.